Hey, folks, welcome back to the Bulwark. I am Sam Stein, managing editor. I'm joined by Tim Miller. I don't know what your title is. You just do everything so well. It's really what an incredible gift to humanity. That should be your title. We're here to talk about something deadly serious, dogs, and why they keep getting killed by people in the conservative movement. It's true. It's happening a lot. This morning, a report came over from The Guardian about Kevin Roberts, otherwise obscure person, except this year he is the Project 2025 mastermind. It's kind of been shunned by Trump, but he put together that policy manifesto for the Heritage Foundation. Basically, the report says that he is alleged to have told colleagues and dinner guests that he killed a neighbor's pit bull around 2004 when he was working at the New Mexico State University as a history professor. I'm going to read the quote from a colleague of his at the time. My recollection of his account was that he was discussing in the hallway with various members of the faculty, including me, that a neighbor's dog had been barking pretty relentlessly and was, keeping the baby and probably the parents awake. And then he kind of lost it and took a shovel and killed the dog. End of problem. And two people, other people recalled hearing this. Okay. Look, I've had kids. I had two kids. They were both pretty bad sleepers. I never got to a place.
Where's this going?
I never got to a place. I'm saying I never got to a place where I thought about murdering my dog. My dog did often wake them up because I have a beagle, and anytime the mailman came, he would howl and he would wake up my children. And I had, I don't want to say murderous impulses, but I had bad impulses about my dog. I felt like opening the door and just letting him run away and just being like, all right, we're done with that. But I never murdered my dog. And I think it's pretty ridiculous to kill a neighbor's dog with a shovel. Robert says this is not true, but Tim, this is part of a pattern here, and I'm just sort of curious. I really need your insights into why this is like the third instance of this stuff.
It is, and I've seen your internal rage, Sam, since we've become colleagues, and so the fact that you've showed this kind of restraint is impressive. Yeah. The dog. The spree of dog killings with Kristi Noem, obviously killing Cricket, which we'll get to, and Kevin Roberts. The Kevin Roberts story, though, is a little bit more reminiscent to me of the Corey Lewandowski story, the famed Corey Lewandowski story at the Benihana Addiction Awareness fundraiser, where he was drunkenly bragging to a married woman about how he had stabbed humans to death when he was younger. Corey's now one of the top advisors to Donald Trump. Unclear whether that was like a brag or like a POA, kind of a pickup artist routine.
Yeah.
And he like pretended to kill people, or whether he really has.
How does that work exactly? What's the pickup line here? I've killed people.
I think it's kind of like I'm a tough guy. I think it's kind of like a dominant sort of. I don't know. This is not how this is not how I was picking up boys back in the day. But my understanding, having read Tucker Max, is there's some kind of dominance thing. So maybe it's a pickup artist routine. I don't know. And the Kevin Roberts situation didn't even seem to be flirtatious. It seemed to be a straight brag. I think one of the interesting factoids here, though, and we can get back to the dog murder, but it's related, is where this happened. 2004, he's at New Mexico State University as a history professor. Nothing against history professors, appreciate you guys. But this guy now is running the Heritage Foundation. Like the premier conservative think tank. That's quite the trajectory over.
That's 20 years. I think a 20-year trajectory is not so bad.
Quite the trajectory. Corey Lewandowski, and I'm just pointing out one of the other patterns here.
Sure.
Corey Lewandowski was like a D-list New Hampshire political consultant that has risen to be like the top advisor to Donald Trump. Mark Robinson, who we discussed a lot, was like a bankrupt porn store frequenter. Like I just like the party right now, the thing that ties all this together, in addition to like the bloodlust for animals, is like the party is a magnet for psychopaths. Like if you are a psychopath and you want to succeed, you look at the Republican Party and you think this is a place where I could do well.
Yeah, well, look, I don't know if my biggest gripe is the trajectories of the career here. I think my biggest gripe is the killing of the animals.
Okay.
You know, that might be the thing that gets
you're more
me.
of a sensitive Sally than me. You know?
I will say, if you're a young conservative out there, I just think I don't want you to take the wrong lessons from this. The way to get ahead is not murdering your neighbor's dog. This is correlation, I hope, not causation. But let's just go through this. So Kevin Roberts killed a dog with allegedly with a shovel. Kristi Noem shot her own dog in a gravel pit. We have pictures of RFK.
No, don't forget before we get off Kristi Noem, don't forget the goat.
I forgot about the goat. What's the goat?
She also Noem got angry enough to kill the dog. And then she also decided she had to kill again. I think this is an underrated element of the story. Like,
the bloodlust was just not satisfying.
She hadn't got enough out of it, and so she was also. I guess she's on some farm near the gravel pit. I don't exactly know the scene. She gathered a goat and dragged it to the gravel pit, tied it to a post. But when the goat got kind of jumpy with her, she shot the goat as well. She writes, my shot was off and I needed one more shell to finish the job. So she just kind of unloaded into the goat, not wanting him to suffer, apparently. So I eat goat from time to time. That's okay. But just like, I'm a carnivore, but especially as we're tying this to sort of the Haitian lie, right? Like there's,
we're getting to that. Yeah.
Okay. So like they were kind of lumping in, what else? Geese and other non-pet animals. So if we're going to lump in other non-pet animals, we should note that the gravel pit murder from Kristi Noem was a two murder.
I will say we it's like a funny. No, it's not. It's disturbing how like a lot of our conversations between me and you have kind of centered around what line of meat would you be comfortable eating? Like we've established that no, we would not eat dog. Like we're not eating dog or cat.
Roadkill bear. There was a split.
Roadkill bear. I said I would do.
Yeah, that was a no.
I said I would do. Yeah. You said no way in hell. But you would eat goat that Kristi Noem shot in the head.
I have eaten goat. Yeah,
if it was shot by Kristi Noem, you'd eat it too. I guess
I'd probably eat Kristi Noem's murder goat. But I just think it's a double. It's a double.
Would you eat a goose?
I think I would. Yeah. I can't say that I have. Not that I can think of.
I might have. I don't know. Probably not. No. The bird animal. I'm pretty good with the bird animal. But yeah, this is where we're at in this election. Is we're just sort of grading what kind of dead animals we would eat, and I think we've established some different lines here. All right, so yeah, the Noem thing that was like that kind of killed her VP chances in a way. Not that she really had great ones, but the Roberts thing just kind of adds to the element of the weirdness of it. The RFK stuff. That's the thing. Is like. He's got the weirdest canon of dead animal anecdotes. Like he's had roadkill bear. He's been pictured pretending to bite into a barbecue dog. He allegedly chopped off a whale's head. And yet this man keeps
falconry.
His trajectory is like really, he's like sky high right now. It feels like the more weird animals he kills, the higher the position he'll get in the Trump cabinet.
Yeah. It's concerning to have him certainly at the head of NIH. Here's the thing, though. Like, based on where we've got, again, you'd think that the head of Heritage would be somebody that might be in line for a Trump administration job. A term-limited governor of South Dakota might be. It's going to be challenging for Trump to fill out a cabinet with people that haven't, committed canine murder. Like the candidate pool is going to be full of people that have done.
Yeah. And what's the deal? So then I guess obviously now we're getting to the realm of psychological projection here, but like the whole thing about Haitians eating cats and dogs.
I thought you were going to bring up Seamus. And I'm
going to go to Seamus in a second. Okay. But that's like, it's almost quaint to think of Seamus, right?
Yeah, we can't lump Seamus in with this.
No, we're not going to lump Seamus. If people don't recall, was the famous 2012 anecdote in which Mitt Romney allegedly had his dog on the crate on top of his car, right?
Roof on a road trip. This is not allegedly, actually. Tag admitted to this. Tag, the oldest son admitted to this.
It's a real thing.
I can remember because I was on the McCain campaign at the time. Long story short, I remember reading the article and getting a call from my boss at the time and just a giddy call, which is like, Romney's dog was on the roof. Tag admitted it in an interview. He was shitting all over the roof. And he's like, we've got to spring into action. Call Sam Stein at the Huffington Post.
I don't know. Was it really me?
I don't know.
I think Arthur Delaney was the one who was obsessed with Seamus.
Anywho.
But I think the other thing about the Seamus story was that when they got to the whatever destination they were going to, which was hours and hours away with the dog on the roof, Seamus like ran away. And it was like the dog had been so traumatized by this episode that he ran away. And that made it seem a little bit cruel. But the truth of the matter is that in retrospect, when put against all these episodes, there was nothing cruel about it because Mitt Romney didn't take a gun and shoot Seamus's brains out.
Yeah,
like
definitely PG by comparison.
But we of course, So okay, but I wasn't actually. It's funny you brought me down the Seamus rabbit hole, but I didn't want to go there. I was talking about the Haitian eating the pets thing. Like, how do we conceive of this? I mean, obviously, it's a racist trope and it's been used against minority communities forever. But is there something to it that like these people who are like deliberately cruel to their pets are kind of I don't know, the party that's fostered them is now like involved in perpetuating this racist lie, or is that just reading way too far into it?
I mean, you are tempted to do the every accusation is a confession maxim with the MAGAs because it is true and it has turned out to be true. Pretty much everything that Trump says about other people, he is something that he's done himself. That said, in this case, I'm going to just go back to my original. The party is a magnet for psychopaths. I think it's a unifying theory that ties Mark Robinson and Herschel Walker and Carrie Lake and the dog murderers all together. And they just, if you see a spot in society where there's a major institution that has decided, like, we're going to incentivize insane behavior, I just think that that's going to attract insane people. So that's where I land on this. I mean, I'm open to other theories.
No, I think that's right. I think it's probably too big a stretch to say, oh, well, they all sort of ate their own dogs and therefore they're like putting it on the Haitians now. I think that's not exactly what's happening
and
here.
Just to be clear, no evidence of dog eating among the Haitians.
Yeah, I think it's worth pointing that out.
Or dog murder.
Or even geese eating. Like, that was a weird thing. They were like, oh, look at this guy pictured holding a goose, and it turned out he was just cleaning up roadkill, and they're like, we just sort of moved on. Like, this poor guy. Like, imagine being that guy. Just for a second, imagine being that guy. Like, your job kind of stinks to begin with. You got to pick up roadkill. That's not great. And then you're just doing a public service, and then suddenly one day, oh my God, like, people
like
are
the vice presidential candidate is like, this man is a park goose thief.
He's stealing the geese from the public park and bringing them home and eating them. You're like, I just was cleaning up dead geese.
We must deport this man.
Yeah,
it's pretty dark. It's a dark situation, Sam.
Fun storyline though. Not really. It's terrible. All right, I have nothing else to add on this.
I just think we've covered it. A dog murder epidemic, also maybe related to Corey Lewandowski's unsolved stabbings. From Massachusetts, and we're just going to keep our eyes out. Usually in these stories there are three.
I would say I fully expect another one. And it will happen. And we'll be sort of like, what the hell is going on here? But the truth is, they come in three, and this is an epidemic. And luckily for the viewers, we're on top of it.
Okay, my final question to you, actually, before we go.
Sure.
Who's your top candidate for being the third dog murderer?
Ooh. Well, I mean, it's so obvious. It's got to be Robinson, right? There's going to be some email out there. Yeah, Mark Robinson's got some weird email out there under some pseudonym online where he's just like,
I got Don Jr. I'm taking Don Jr.
No, I don't even think he owns a dog. Well, it doesn't mean you can't murder it. But like, it's going to be Robinson. Come on. When the guys out there like doing the weirdest shit you've ever seen a politician do, like dog murdering seems like, put it this way, he's the most likely candidate.
I got to tell you, we maybe have to do another side video on Eric Hovde, the Republican in Wisconsin's video.
I don't know much about him. Yeah,
this man has fallen under the radar, but I was watching some of his content. Just a little teaser for folks. I've been prepping some content on Eric Hovde, Republican Senate candidate in Wisconsin. That's a weird cat. So I'd throw, he'd be a sleeper pick for me.
Oh shit. Okay. That's a teaser. I can't wait for the video. All right. We're going to leave it there. It's getting a little weird. Tim, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. And anyone who's watching this and like is disturbed and bothered by this content, we apologize. But we're just reporting the news. Like we didn't ask for this story. This story came to us. We're just doing our duty here to give you what's out there. But please do subscribe to our YouTube page. Tim, thanks, man. Take care.
Bye.